My name is Beam. I have been in a chorus for 3 years, and I am in lower tenor 2.
Beautiful. How did you find out about the chorus in the first place?
Through a friend actually. So I was in Chicago Gaming Chorus when I lived there, and because of work, I moved here in 2017, and I had an amazing time in Chicago Gaming Chorus because I made a lot of friends and I like singing. So when I moved here, a lot of the friends there kind of, recommended me try to apply for San Francisco Gaming Chorus. Actually, all of them pointed me to Eric Ducat. Yeah, he used to be in Chicago Gaming Chorus too, and everyone knows him. So they were like, you have to go see Eric, and then go through there, get in. So I met up with Eric and kind of talk about it, and then I applied. So, yeah.
What was the first rehearsal like?
Oh, it was the first word that comes to mind was very organized. Everything was like, it's like a well-oiled machine at that point because I was from Chicago and the chorus there is a bit smaller. So you can see like, behind the scenes is a bit of a messiness a bit in a way. But when I first came to San Francisco Gaming Chorus, and at that point we rehearsed at, near Union Square, a really beautiful building there. And I was like really impressed, like, oh my God, there's so many people and everything was so, in order. Like everyone knows what to do, come prepared and then just sing. So I was super impressed and a bit intimidated, to be honest. I was like, oh, am I good enough to be here? But yeah, I was super impressed.
Looking back now on the years it's been since you've joined the chorus, what's been the most rewarding part?
I joined, to be honest, because I wanted to make friends. Music is something that I love for sure, but if you ask me what's number one goal for me is to meet people and make friends, because I'll be honest, when you're an adult and you move to the new city, you're not in school anymore, you just meet your work people, it's so hard to meet people and make connections and become friends with someone. So I feel like I needed that sort of institution or something, some kind of clubs or organization that I can keep coming back like every month, every week, and meet the same people and do something together. And this is perfect for me because singing, I love it. And us being such a big organization, I'm exposed to a lot of people that I wouldn't have as well. I'm from Thailand originally, actually. So American culture is something that was new to me at that point. And I was exposed to, people my age, people who are younger than me, people who are older than me, who lived through, the AIDS epidemic back then. I heard a lot of stories, and it's really enlightening in a lot of ways, because I learned so many things about, history of how gay people before our time have to sacrifice so many things and so that we can have a life that we have today. So yeah, really eye-opening, and I'm really grateful. One moment I feel like I really remember was not in a chorus or anything, but just hang out at the bar with it's someone's birthday party, and we went to the stud, and it was like we watched drag shows, everyone bring their partners, and then looking back, it was such a simple night, but especially now, like that kind of night is not simple anymore. We all wanted to go back at that kind of night, but yeah, it was a time that I realized that, okay, I make these friends over 3 years. They feel comfortable enough for me to meet their partners and hang out and just chill and enjoy each other's company. So I feel great because that's exactly what I want, right? I wanted to make friends and I made some. So, so yeah, it so far, it's been really rewarding.
I'm so glad you did. It can be hard to make friends, even in the chorus, I think, sometimes, because it's 300
Yeah,
people. It's a huge group, and as a new person, it can be really
sure.
scary.
Yeah, 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 for sure. And I just feel like you at the end of the day, you vibe or you gravitate towards people who are, you know, share something in similar with you. So I think, yeah, I think the people that I hang out with from the chorus are more or less, we talk about things that we are interested and they're kind of similar in a way. So yeah, I'm really grateful to be able to meet everyone, and for particular people, I can call them friends.
That's so beautiful.
Yeah.
And I do love the history part of it too, being able to learn about history, because a lot of us didn't necessarily grow up with that history. It's usually not taught in school. Your parents
Yeah.
may or may not have ever talked to you about it, especially if you didn't grow up in San Francisco. It can be hard to see that, but it's a beautiful thing to be able to listen to some of those.
Yeah, definitely. What I can share is that, as I said, I'm from Thailand, so it's a whole nother culture over there. You know, like it's pretty open for Asian countries, but we don't. I didn't know what I know now. You know, for sure, like how the civil rights movements came to be, how we get our rights as we do today. So being able to talk to people who are part of those movements are really eye-opening.
Tell me a little bit about your family and your neighborhood growing up.
Um, so I am from Thailand. I tell everyone I'm from Bangkok, but it's not really Bangkok. It's a city next to Bangkok. That is the capital, by the way. Like, if you know Thailand, that's the city that you would visit. But I lived in a city that's like literally next to it, like an hour away. I grew up pretty much in the countryside. Like my grandfather was a teacher in a local school. We had like a paddy field before my father built our house nearby. I went to, interestingly, Catholic school when I was when I was like in the primary school. So yeah, and the concept of being gay is not something totally like strange to us. In Thailand, I have to give you the context, is that we have a lot of what we call baby boys. That's a bit of a derogatory term, but like trans people. And you see them in the media. They are comedians most of the time. They're there to add comic relief to a movie or a TV show. So that's what Thai people's perception of LGBT community at that point. So when I grew up, I was a bit girlish and stuff, but I have other things going on. Like I was a good student, so people didn't really, give me the hard time about it because I have something else to show them, I guess. I don't know. But yeah, it's a bit of a, I know that something was different about me than other, friends in school for sure from very young age. But yeah, like I have a really loving family, so they try their best to kind of raise me in a way that I become successful at life and can live my truth. Yeah.
When did you come out?
I came out to them when it's pretty late. I was 26. And at that point, I was never really active in dating girls. I never date girls. But at that point in life, I finished my master's degree in Japan. I lived in Tokyo for 5 years, by the way. So at that point, I lived in Tokyo for I would say like 3 years. I got my degrees. I got my first job there, and it was during the time when I visit home for New Year's holiday. We went, just me and my parents. We went to like a vacation on an island somewhere in Thailand. We drove there and everything. And at night, in the like a hotels, it's like a resort cafeteria, like restaurant. We just ate and drink and everything. And all of a sudden, like to be honest, I planned to tell them that around that time in that holiday, but it couldn't have been more perfect just because they had a talk with me, not necessarily about like my sexuality, but it's more like the talk was more like you are 26 now, you start your first job in a country far away from where you are, and they told me they're proud of me and they wanted me to like find someone to be with. And because at the end of the day, they said even if you have kids, they're gonna be away. They're not gonna be with you at the end of your life. So who's gonna be by your side at the end of the day is your life partner. They didn't even use the word wife to me. So yeah, they didn't know. They didn't know that was like try to encourage me to come out to them or anything. They just wanted to have that talk with me, make sure that I am being taken care of, long term. So it was like that was the perfect moment, right? Like it couldn't have been more like set up better than that. So I told them it was beautiful. Like it like I said, especially for people in Thailand from my parents' generation, they don't, when I say I'm gay, they don't grasp the idea of what that is. My father's reaction was like, well, at first, of course, it's really, really accepting. They were like, we love you no matter what you are. And whatever makes you happy, we're happy for you. And couldn't have been better. But then it's more after that, it was like a bit of a joke. My dad was like, so are you wanted to dress like a girl now? That type of stuff. And I was like, no, Dad, being gay is just, I'm not attracted to girls. I'm attracted to boys. And I want to be, I don't want to be a girl. That's that kind of thing. So it's, so that's a bit of a, eye-opening a bit to me too, because what I know, they don't really know, right? Of like what it's like to be gay, to be trans, like it's completely different things. But yeah, it was interesting, and I also see that they tried every day to learn about it. I know it's from their generation, this is something new. They just wanted to make sure that I am leading the life that, good and not be in danger in any way. So they are, at the end of the day, the intention is to it's all the good things for me, and they tried their best to educate themselves in that sense as well. So that's to say, I'm really thankful for the family, for the parents that I have. I know a lot of Thai friends who are not as, when they try to come out, it's not well received, or even the idea of coming out is not even in their head because they know that it's not gonna go over too well. So like to compare with that, I feel like I'm super lucky to have the parents that I have, for sure.
If there's some young queer person watching this today who shares some part of their background with you, what would you tell them?
I would tell them that just hold on to something. I think I think life as a gay person, as of now, has been easier for people who came before us, for sure, right? Like in cities like San Francisco, you can love who you want to love, be with whoever you want it to be, and people won't judge you. But I understand that that's still a progress. Not everywhere in the world is like this city. So it can be hard for sure. And I've been through that to some extent, although I consider myself to be quite lucky to not have to go through as much hardship as other people. But even that, I feel like every time I go through something, I especially hard times, I hold on to something in myself to get through those times. So for example, I move around a lot. I lived in Japan, I lived in Chicago, I lived in San Francisco. That could be a bit of it, like it's a lot of changes in your life in a few years. I feel like at the end of the day, I hold on to this desire in me to explore the world. For me, is that I wouldn't have, chosen other paths in life and to stay back home and do something differently. I could have done that, but I didn't, because I feel like I know what I wanted to do with it. I know what deep inside me I wanted to do, and this is the life that I lead. I hold on to, for example, my love of singing, right? Like I know I like that. So I find information, I join this chorus, I make friends, I hold on to my family. At the end of the day, I live far away from them. But I know that they love me. They know that I love them. And that sort of love it gets me to a lot of hard times. Like I would have days that I was be so stressed about things that to them are not even matter. I would call my mom and she would be like, this is not even like, don't, look at where you are now. Just be grateful for what you have, and then you get through it. And it's true. At the end of the day, it's all in my head sometimes. So yeah, I feel like what I could share, like the advice that I would give to young LGBTQ person is that just hold on to something, find something positive in your life, to be the driving force, because sometimes things can get hard, but if you hold on to what is true and bring you positivity, that will get you through everything.
Is there anything else about your experience in the chorus that you want to talk about that we haven't covered so far?
I just wanted to add, I think another moment that I really, really love, is almost like transcendent experience for me, was when we sing the 7 last words. It was beautiful. That's the piece of music that moved me in a way that I was never moved like that before. It was just literally just 7 words, but you understand the gravity, the weight of, those words. And when we get to sing together, it's such a powerful moment. I don't know how to describe it, but it was like I was really emotional on the stage at that time, and it was something that I will always remember.